Hey everyone, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to teach you how to use approach notes and chromatics to really spice up your improvisations. Coming right up. In the last episode we learned how to improvise using arpeggios. And we attached arpeggios to each of the 5 types of chords in position 1 and position 4. This gives us a great basis to start improvising in jazz, but we can make it even jazzier. If you haven't seen my last videos, I recommend that you check them out as they teach you the basics you need to know to understand the concepts of this video. Today I'm going to teach you approach notes and chromatics to get that instant bebop sound in your playing. So what are approach notes? An approach note is a note you use to get to a target note. So what are target notes? Simplified, I could say the target notes are chord notes. The chord notes are diatonic, meaning they belong to the key or the scale that we are playing in. And that makes them pleasant sounding relative to the chord that we're playing over and therefore suited to be target notes. The most common target notes are the root, the third and the fifth, and sometimes the 7. So we have, for example, an A minor 7 in position 1. And we have the root, 3rd, 5th, 7th, root, 3rd, 5th, 7th, root, 3rd. So all of these could be good target notes. The approach notes can be either diatonic or chromatic, meaning that it either belongs to the scale, therefore diatonic, or it doesn't belong to the main scale, but rather the chromatic scale, making it chromatic. So for example, this approach note is chromatic because this note is not in the scale we're playing in. But this note is diatonic because this is the 9th of the chord and also the 2nd step in the scale we're playing over, the A Dorian. Therefore that's diatonic. But I won't be focusing on what notes are diatonic and chromatic. Think of them all as approach notes to make things simpler. Now I've already shown you the simplest way to play an approach note. It's just a one approach note, either from below or from above. So that's one approach note landing on a target note. But we can also play 2 approach notes. And then we have a little bit more options. Because when we just have one note, we can either hit the target note from below or from above. But if we have 2 approach notes, we can have 2 from below, 2 from above. Or 1 below, 1 above, and then the target note. Or the other way around, approach from above, approach from below, and then target note. And for this lesson, the target note should always be on 1 or the first beat on the chord that we're aiming for. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. So the approach note is on the and of 4. And if I have 2 approach notes, I would hit the 4 and the and of 4. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. And you could play even more approach notes. You could play 3 approach notes. 1, 2, 3 targets. Or 1, 2, 3 target. 1, 2, 3 target. 1, 2, 3 target. And you can also use the target note as an approach note. So 1, 2, 3 target. 1, 2, 3 target. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And these were great with the arpeggios we learned in the last video. for the exercises today, we're going to play over that chord progression I just played for you. And this is a 1, 6, 2, 5 chord progression, which are very common changes in jazz. And we're going to play a little variation of it, where you have G major 7, E dominant 7, A minor 7, and D7. And if we start on the G major on the 4th position, G major 7, E dominant 7, A minor 7, and D dominant 7. And for this exercise I want us to play 8 notes. So first I want us to learn how to use one approach note. We're going to play 7 notes on the arpeggio, and the 8th note is an approach note to the next chord. So what I mean by that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And now we're going to the E dominant 7. So we could, for example, aim for this as a target note. But we landed here. And then we play 7 notes on the next chord. And then an approach note. And for the A minor 7. And then an approach note to the D7. It creates an automatic tension in the ending of your phrase. It's rather dissonant. So you want to resolve it to the next chord, and therefore that note will lead to the next chord, and it will connect your lines. So exercise 2 is playing 6 notes on the arpeggio, then 2 approach notes to hit the target note on the next chord. So for G major, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we're going to aim for the root, for example, of E dominant 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Approach. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Approach. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And just take your time, take it even slower than this. The most important thing is just to find these solutions and seeing the arpeggios and the target notes before you play them, so that you know how to approach them. And exercise 3 is the same, only now we have 3 approach notes. So now we're going to use 5 arpeggio notes and then 3 approach notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Try to have continual 8 notes and just try to find lines that resolves nicely to the next chord. It's all about trying to anticipate the next chord and making a dissonance so you can resolve that as a consonance on a target note on the next chord. It will drive your improvisation forward, and it will sound really bebop to get this into your playing. And don't forget to do it in both starting with position 1 and starting with position 4. So now we come to my favorite exercise with this stuff. It's actually just mixing up the number of approach notes and just finding your own solutions, playing around this 1, 6, 2, 5 progression over and over. But this time we'll do it with a time, and there is no need to play strictly 8 notes all the time. You can take breaks and try to be more musical about it. So let's just put our metronomes on 60 BPM, for example, and focus on improvising using approach notes and making lines and just experimenting. Let's try that again in 90 BPM. So far we have only been playing 1 chord per bar, but oftentimes in jazz there are more chords per bar. So let's try this with 2 chords per bar. So we play 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So this is actually a lot harder because you only have 4 8 notes per chord before you have to start the next chord. And then maybe only 3 notes because if you want an approach note, that's one of the 4 notes. So for example, 1, 2, 3, and now I have to play an approach note to the next chord. Approach 1, 2, 3, approach 1, 2, 3, approach 1, 2, 3, approach 1, 2, 3. Approach 1, 2, 3, approach 1, 2, 3, approach 1, 2, 3, approach 1. Just take it really slow and you can find solutions to get through those chord changes. And this is just 1 chord progression. I want you to play approach notes and arpeggios over every standard tune or jazz tune that you learn to get a really good overview of the harmonic foundation of the song. So for example, if I want to play Autumn Leaves, I would definitely practice this over the chord changes in several different positions. Then go up to the other position. So this is a great way to make your improvisations sound more bebop, using approach notes and chromatic notes to really spice it up. It would also make your improvisations more fluid and feel like they are pushed forward to the next chord and having a forward motion. So if you like this video, consider subscribing to my channel to get future content, and give the video a like. Also, if you leave a comment below, I will get back to you and answer questions you might have. And as always, thank you for watching and keep on exploring.